Hello students, this is Sumita. Today we are going to be discussing the sample question paper of English for class 10 for the year 24-25. As we know, the time allowed is 3 hours. The maximum marks is 80. Let us see the general instructions. Read instructions very carefully and strictly follow them. This question paper comprises of 11 questions. All questions are compulsory. The question paper contains 3 sections. Section A is reading skills, section B is grammar and creative writing skills, and section C is literature textbook. Attempt questions based on specific instructions for each part. In this video, we are going to be dealing with the reading skills. When you're attempting the question paper, first read the questions. See what information you'll have to look for in the passage. Look for the keywords and find the answer from the text. But since we are discussing the question paper, we are going to go through the text first and then read the questions. Water is one of the most essential resources on earth, yet it is often taken for granted. Despite its abundance means in big amounts, the reality is that only a small fraction or part of the world's water is fresh and available for human use. With increasing populations, climate change, and industrial demands, the pressure on our water resources is growing. This makes water conservation, that is saving water, not just a collective responsibility but a crucial or important individual duty. Each person's effort towards conserving water can significantly impact the preservation of this vital resource for future generations. So this paragraph is telling us that individual contribution towards saving water is important. One of the primary reasons individual water conservation efforts are so important is the cumulative or collective effort of small actions which may seem trivial or unimportant on its own. However, when multiplied by millions of people, these actions can lead to substantial, that is considerable, water savings. For example, a single dripping tap can waste over 15 liters of water per day. Imagine the water saved if every household in a city repaired just one leaky faucet, that is tap. This highlights the power of collective individual actions in reducing water waste. Moreover, personal efforts towards water conservation often lead to greater awareness and education. When individuals take steps to conserve water, they become more conscious of their water usage and the importance of this resource. This awareness can then spread within communities, inspiring others to adopt similar practices. For instance, a family that installs water-saving devices in their home may encourage neighbors and friends to do the same, creating a ripple effect. A ripple effect means chain reaction, means one person will look at the other and follow it. This grassroots approach to conservation can be particularly effective in areas where larger scale initiatives or drives may be slow to implement or lacking in support. In addition to daily habits, individuals can also make a difference through more significant lifestyle choices. For instance, opting for drought-resistant plants in gardens and supporting water-efficient agriculture can all contribute to water conservation. Agriculture, especially livestock farming, is one of the largest consumers of water globally. By supporting sustainable farming practices, individuals can indirectly reduce the water footprint or traces of their food. So here, this paragraph 4 is telling us that we can opt for better choices like using drought-resistant plants and using water in agriculture in a more efficient manner. Critics might argue that individual efforts are negligible, that is of little importance, compared to the large-scale water consumption or use by industries and agriculture. However, this perspective or view overlooks the potential for individual actions to drive systematic change. When people collectively make water-conscious choices, they send a powerful message to businesses and policymakers about the importance of conservation. So here the paragraph is telling us that individual efforts, although of little use individually can have a bigger impact in the entire social system, sending a powerful message to businesses and policymakers, that is the government, about the importance of water conservation. Each person's commitment to saving water, no matter how small, contributes to a larger culture of sustainability. By making conscious choices and spreading awareness, individuals can help ensure that future generations have access to clean, fresh water they need to thrive. Water conservation is not just the responsibility of governments and industries, it is a shared duty that begins with each of us. So the last paragraph is telling us that every individual should consciously make an effort to save water and spread awareness regarding water conservation. Let us see the questions. Answer the following questions based on the passage above. In paragraph 1, what does the phrase each person's efforts towards conserving water significantly impact the preservation of this vital resource emphasize? So what does this line lay importance on? We can say that the line lays importance on individual contribution towards water preservation. It is the personal responsibility of every individual to save water because every small action makes a huge impact collectively. Let us move to the next question. Complete the following with the correct option from the two given. Water is often taken for granted despite its essential nature because it is abundant and always easily accessible, making people less aware of its usage, or its importance is not always recognized, leading people to overlook its value. So what does the passage tell us? It tells us that its importance is not always recognized, leading people to overlook its value. That means because it is always readily available, we do not value it. The third question is support the writer's idea that small individual actions towards water conservation are not trivial or very small. It is of 2 marks. We can say that the writer is absolutely correct when he says individual contributions in water conservation matter. Though turning off the tap or repairing a leaking faucet or the tap may seem insignificant at personal level, when it is taken collectively, it will lead to saving a significant amount of water and save future generations from water scarcity. Therefore, widespread participation is necessary to conserve water for the future. Question 4 says, select the option that best reflects the concept of ripple effect in the context of a student life at school. So what is the chain reaction? A student's act of volunteering at local charity leads to the school administration organizing a large-scale fundraising event, or a student who consistently follows good study practices inspires classmates to improve their own study routines, creating a culture of academic excellence in the class. So ripple effect means chain reaction, means one person will see, the other person will follow, then that person will inspire the other. So there is a ripple or chain reaction. So it is answer B. A student who consistently follows good study practices inspires classmates to improve their own study routines, creating a culture of academic excellence in the class. So question 5 says, state whether the following statement is true or false. This grassroots approach to conservation can be particularly effective in areas where large-scale initiatives may be slow to implement or lacking in support. The answer is true because large-scale initiatives take longer time to implement. So the writer recommends grassroots efforts. Grassroots effort means at the individual level. Question number 6 says, writer mentions sustainable farming practices in paragraph 4. Which of the following is a sustainable farming practice? So there are 4 options given. Among these, you'll have to choose one which is a sustainable farming practice. What does sustainable means? It will go on into the future. It will be supporting the people in the future also. A is using chemical fertilizers and pesticides extensively to increase crop yields. So it is not going to be beneficial for the future generations. Clearly, option A says using chemical fertilizers and pesticides extensively to increase crop yields? No, this is not sustainable. Clearing large areas of natural vegetation to expand farmland for organic farming? No, we need green cover, so this is also not sustainable. Implementing crop rotation and using organic compost to maintain soil health? Yes, maintaining soil health is going to benefit the future generations. So answer is C. D says relying solely on monoculture farming to maximize production efficiency. So we see this is also not sustainable. So the answer is C. Implementing crop rotation. Question 7 says list any 2 points that a powerful message sent to business and policy makers about the importance of water conservation might include. So what message might be sent to the business and policy makers? The message might include the following. Number 1, the government must take large-scale water conservation measures and implement laws and create awareness to address water management issues. Number 2, the business establishment must implement water-efficient technologies and methods to reduce water consumption. So these are the 2 things that we can send as a message to the business and policymakers. Fill in the blanks with the correct option from those given in paragraph 6. In the phrase culture of sustainability, the word culture refers to. So what does culture here refer to? Is it a set of beliefs and practices shared by group, or the artistic and traditional practices specific to a community's heritage, or the lifestyle habits and choices that are popular among the urban, or the techniques and methods used in development efforts? So the answer is A. It is a set of beliefs and practices shared by a group. So here culture means a set of beliefs and practices. Let us move on to the next paragraph. Here we see that the marks allotted is 10 again, and you are going to be going through the questions first and then read the text, because you will be knowing what to look for. A thorough study conducted across several villages of northeast India unveiled several fascinating insights or awareness into mural landscape. What does mural mean? It means a large painting or artwork that is typically created directly on wall or ceiling. So we see in the villages on the walls there are a lot of drawings. So they are called murals. It revealed that a significant majority, comprising around 80% of these vibrant artworks, are meticulously, that is painstakingly or exactly crafted by villagers themselves. So 80% of the murals are made by whom? The villagers themselves. Approximately nearly 15% of the murals arise from collaborative efforts or endeavors between the villagers and local or visiting artists. So 80% by the villagers themselves and 15% between villagers or local artists. Surprisingly, a small fraction, about 5% of the murals, are result of sponsored initiatives or funded drives, often commissioned or ordered by governmental or non-governmental organizations. So here the author is surprised that just about 5% of the murals that are made are funded by the government or non-governmental organizations. These murals convey or give social messages ranging from education and environmental conservation to public health awareness. So these murals that are funded by the government or non-governmental organizations or NGOs are used to give social messages. Among the locally crafted murals, nearly 55% depict or display scenes from mythology and folklore, celebrating the rich cultural heritage of the region. About 26% of these murals showcase daily life in the villages, capturing moments of joy, struggle, and victory. 19% feature abstract or contemporary, that is present day themes, reflecting evolving artistic expressions in rural settings. So only 19% are contemporary art. Further analysis reveals that among the locally crafted murals, nearly 63% are found on the walls of community centers, temples, and other public spaces. Then the rest decorate The exterior walls of the residential houses, the remaining 10%, are scattered or distributed across schools, health centers, and other institutional buildings, serving as educational tools and sources of inspiration for the younger generations. To delve in deeper, that is, dig in deeper, comparisons across various parameters or different parameters, criteria such as demographic, that is, population related patterns, subject matter, techniques, community engagement, and impact are crucial or important. Analyzing these facets or factors not only provides a comprehensive, that is, thorough understanding of mural creation in Northwest Indian villages, but also unveils, that is, shows avenues that path for cultural preservation, community development, and creative expression. Now let us see the questions. Answer the following questions based on the passage above. What does the use of the phrase fascinating insights by the writer in paragraphs tell us about? The writer is expressing surprise, the writer is conveying boredom and frustration, the writer is indicating interest and enthusiasm, or the writer is showing disappointment. The answer is C. The writer is indicating interest and enthusiasm by telling fascinating insights. Select the option that is true for the assertion and reason given below. Assertion means statement and reason means, of course, the reason for the statement. Assertion says the murals in Northwest Indian villages are meticulously crafted. Reason that they give is the murals are the result of collaborative endeavors or efforts. Option A says both assertion and reason are true, and the reason is the correct explanation of the assertion. We know that the murals, most 80% are done by the villagers themselves, so the reason is not correct. So the first one is not correct. Both the assertion and reason are true, but the reason is not the correct explanation of the assertion. So we know that the second one is not true. Number C says assertion is true, but the reason is false. Yes, we know that reason is false because 80% of the murals are done by the villagers themselves. Number D says assertion is false, but the reason is true. So the answer is assertion is true, but the reason is false. Question 3 says, identify the word that indicates the writer anticipated higher percentage of sponsored initiative murals. So, surprisingly, okay, so surprisingly only 5% of the murals are under government initiative. How do the murals in Northwest Indian villages contribute to community engagement and awareness? The murals help in conveying important social messages regarding public health, education, afforestation, etc. They serve the dual purpose of beautifying the village and creating awareness regarding the important issues. Question 5 says, read the given prompt and select the correct option in the brackets to fill the blank. In Hari's village, the mural depicting sustainable farming practices is showcased on Panchayat office wall. The percentage of mural type that this would be counted in is how many percent? 26, 19 or 55? We know that it is only 19% because 19% of the murals display or feature abstract or contemporary themes. Question 6. What does the highest percentage of different mural themes suggest about artistic preferences and cultural priorities in Northwest Indian villages? Answer is 55% because 55% of the murals display scenes from mythology and folklore which celebrate the rich cultural heritage of the region. Question 7 says, complete the sentence suitably. The significant presence of murals on the exterior walls of residential houses, what do? They highlight the inclination of the village folk to decorate walls with local art. Question 8 says, complete the following with a suitable reason. The most likely reason the writer believes that a mural can serve as an educational tool is because it can make complex things easier to understand through the use of imagery and symbols. A picture says 1,000 words, so it is easier to understand through pictures. Question 9 says, in the context of the last paragraph, describe the significance of comparing various parameters such as demographic patterns, subject matter, techniques, community engagement, and impact in understanding the mural landscape in Northwest Indian villages. The answer can be by comparing the various parameters, the researchers can evaluate the impact of murals on preserving local culture as well as its influence on community development. They can understand the importance of different themes and the contribution of the local community in various mural projects. So with this we come to the end of the reading section, and in the next video we are going to be discussing the writing section. Thanks for watching.